What's up, YouTube? Today I'm back with a very awesome thing you can do. Okay? That's it. And the video's over and done. No, this is something really cool. So we have this room over here. We're going to fit it out for, I don't know if we're going to go Atmos or 5.1, but we're getting into sound design. And I'm really jumping all in. But it's really interesting because if you go to a movie theater or something, I went with my nephew the last time and it was a really nice theater, man, and I heard the sounds coming from all over, and you're like, yeah, I want to do that. So that's where I'm at. And I was like, okay, so how do I get that going? So during Christmas, just to get excited, I was like, dude, I got to get something 5.1 in the studio. I got really nice mastering speakers and mixing speakers. But I was like, well, let's go back to square one here, almost like my first video again. This is really cool though, okay? So I stumbled across something. As you see on my screen, it says HDMI out. Now, I wanted to show you guys how you can mix in 5.1 without spending a lot of money. And also, I'm not going to lie to you, it's really a good reference. Getting a sound bar is a really good reference because I think a lot of people get them in their houses and they're really popular. So, let me see here. If I go to, hold on, Google, Vizio, I'll show you the one I got. I think it's 5 point, I don't know, I'll make sure, but this thing was like, yeah, Walmart's got it for like 200 bucks. It's right here. And so for 200 bucks, I open this up. This is nuts. And I'm not promoting Vizio or anything like that. I don't even know. Look at somebody's making money off of that. Forget this. Come on, dude. For real? So anyways, here's one. Pick it up today. This is where I bought it. They had like a deal going. Congratulations, SmartCast. So for $249, this is what I'm using in this studio right now, just until we get this room fixed and finished. But this is like a sound bar, okay? And I plugged it in and I was like, man, wonder what this sounds like. It might be cool to listen to. It might be fun. I plugged it in and I was like blown away at how insanely incredible that sounded. Like, and I'm talking between my Bauer and Wilkins here that are like really nice monitors. I put this in this room and I was like, you gotta be kidding me, dude. That sounds great. So the first thing that an audio guy does is like, how do I mix through it? Like, can I get it so I can send my, can I send my interface through it? Because I got these really nice interfaces. But that'll be for later. But we'll have a video for that. But dude, so I was like, how in the heck can I make this happen? So check this out. I made it happen. So if you're trying to mix in 5.1 with a soundbar hooked up to your Mac Pro or I would say any Mac that has an HDMI out, the HDMI cable carries audio, so it carries the channels of audio necessary. I was really concerned that it would sound bad, it wouldn't be fun, and all this stuff, but I had a blast doing this, and this is why I'm doing this video. So check this out. So the first thing you need to do on your Mac is you have to go to audio devices. And as you see here, we have the Amari. That thing's sweet, by the way, from Antelope, an Orion, and a Pure 2. We got the Trio. we got the Antelope Trio. No, thanks to Antelope, man. They make some sweet gear. So that's our mastering. That's our mastering room. So that's that. But we wanted to do We wanted to do 5.1, and we can't do it. We could do it with Pro Tools Aggregate, but let's not get into that right now. So the HDMI, I started thinking about it. I was like, okay, how do I make Pro Tools see the HDMI? And I went here and I saw all these options and I was like, wow, dude, so I think I might be able to do this. So I went to 24-bit, 6 channels, which that's 5.1, 5 speakers, 1 subwoofer, that's 6 channels. What we did here is we went to 2448, and then I went into Pro Tools and I crossed my fingers. I was serious, like crossed my fingers. I'm like, please work. So I opened up Pro Tools, and what I did here was I launched Pro Tools, and here's another thing that's going to be a little bit of a bummer. They don't make it easy. I don't know about Logic. I don't know about other software, but you have to have, I believe you have to have Pro Tools HD. So if you're in the market to actually do this and you're really on a budget, you can get older copies of Pro Tools HD and then you can mess it with it, you know, in that way. So check this out. First of all, I want to cancel this so we can go through the steps real quick. And what I was saying about Ultimate, that's the HD version of Pro Tools. So the thing is when you don't have HD, I don't know if you can do this. So, you know, don't write home with me on this one and say, well, it was a great idea. Don't run out and go get a soundbar without, you know, verifying that your software can actually handle it. So I go to hardware, and right now we have it on the Amari, but we are going to go to the playback engine. Now check this out. We're going to go to HDMI. Isn't that sweet? So I'm actually monitoring my HDMI cable. So that's my playback engine. And it can't be Pro Tools 8 HD because that doesn't support multiple playback engines. So it would be Pro Tools HD 9. You might be able to get a copy of HD 10, HD 11. I don't know if there's many out there. Or you can sign up for subscription, which I did if you plan on doing this a lot, and it's worth the money. So we work a lot on, you know, different things, so it's worth the money every month. But yeah, so now you have HDMI as your playback engine. So check this out. So when I hit OK on this, now let's say I create a session. So I'll just create a new one so you guys can see it from start to finish. So let's just do Funk 5.1, open. Let's just call it test for YouTube. And make sure your clock is on 48. I'm going to just be honest with you. I haven't tried the clocking thing, so if you're getting some like anomalies with your audio and it sounds really weird, it might be the clocking or your sample rate. But here's how you do this. So I/O settings, go to film mix. Now that's a 5.1 film mix. There's other options as well, but I have been choosing just the straight up 5.1 film mix. It's like, what? So you hit create. So what this is going to do, so let's recap. So what it's going to do is tell the HDMI to my soundbar, which is hooked up to my soundbar. And then that has wireless speakers and it's routing everything. That's why we couldn't use the converters we wanted to. So we're going to hit create. And don't mind the heat. We're changing a lot of stuff, and we got to get this all isolated. So, if you look at my playback engine, it's still HDMI. We're going to go to Setup I/O, and we're going to look at this. Okay, now this is what you have to do. See, this is like something this is the technical side of this, so it actually works. So I went in here, and I went to configure speakers. Now notice how it routes to that HDMI. So this is my HDMI. So 1 is left, 2 is not center, okay? It's actually 3 center. So what you do in Pro Tools is you literally just drag that over. So now you have 1 left, 2 right, 3 center. We have 4 is subwoofer, so let's change that. And then it should be 5 is left, 6 is right. 5 is left, 6 is right. That is my playback. That's the HDMI playback. It is clocked to 48. That's why we set Pro Tools to 48. I don't know if it will change. That's what I was saying earlier in the video. I don't know if it's going to change for you. When I look at that, we could change it to 96, then set our session to 96. But once again, this is a really inexpensive way to get into 5.1 and really start to learn. Just like myself here. I mean, I'm getting into this for the first time in my career. So, you know, it's fun, and I actually made a mix earlier, and it sounded really good. I was like, yeah, dude, woo! And then I tried to down convert it, so I'm getting into that as well. But enough patting myself on the back. So you hit OK. Now check this out. If you've never seen a 5.1 session, if I import a track, and I could trigger some of the sounds and stuff now in 5.1, some of the contact sounds. But let's just go to funk. Not that one. Let's just go to... well, yeah, I could... Let me just bring this one in. That's fine. So this one, if we want to mix it, we can actually... Let's say we're doing like a sound design thing for a movie. Now, you're going to hear it through my microphone. I don't have the system sound up. But what is seen is your main outputs are 5 and then 1 subwoofer. So in this room, this little Vizio thing, which is really cool, man. Like, it's probably one of the coolest things I've done in a while. So I'm gonna make sure that it's on HDMI in. I'm gonna hit 5.1, and now you see that the panning, when I switch it to this, let me see here. Did I miss it? Yeah, I missed it. So when you switch it to this, now left and right pans have now become literally the whole room. And what I did before I started mixing and stuff like that is I tried to calibrate the system as best as I possibly could. So I got the balance right, I got the depth right. I made, if I had it panned to the center, so if you do actually go through with all this and do what I'm doing, make sure that you got like the allies on screen there. You focus it so it seems like the sound's coming from here. And that's what I did. So I adjusted. There's why I like this Vizio is I could adjust the center, I could adjust the surround. The only thing I didn't like is I couldn't adjust the rears separate or independent, so I had to place the speakers and get them to work right. With that being said, now what we can do is, let me turn this down a little bit. Make sure, okay, when I hit play, it's insane. So now I understand you guys aren't hearing what I'm hearing, but I can actually push those to the back, push them to the front, mix them the way I want. Now, if I was going to do like a club scene for like a sound effect or something, we could put like a lot of verb on it, you know, cut the top of it, do some cool stuff with it that's not available, you know, if we didn't have this little sound bar to hear it, honestly. So let's do like the out of the club sound. So put some verb on this. This is so cool. Check this out. So, yeah, all these Revibe, it's 5.1. So a lot of the plugs that come with Pro Tools are 5.1. So now you can do some cool stuff. So you're actually, what's really neat about that is now when I do the sound design, I can offer that as a separate thing. Like I said, we're gonna fit some speakers in the second room, but dude, I'm still gonna check it on this. This is like, let me explain this. Like, sometimes you find something, you go, dude, that sounds really good, and then you listen to it again and you're like, nah, I'm just making that up because I just bought it, you know. And then you're like, no, this sounds really good. And I started to realize that they are a popular format and they actually sound like a car. What I started to notice is I drive a car that has a really nice sound system in it, and I'm gonna tell you, dude, like, it sounded like my car. So it was almost like bringing a reference in that I was sort of used to, and I actually always check it to translate. You know what I mean? Because this is fun, and the thrill is fun, and all that stuff. But if it doesn't like work, and then you go back to your mastering speakers, and it just doesn't have that sound, and it's too much or it's too little, I'm going to tell you it translated, and that's what was so cool about it, and that's why I waited to do the video, because I wanted to make sure that these things actually worked. And I will tell you, if you're trying to get into mixing, you know, in your bedroom in 5.1, you can do it with Pro Tools, and you can do it with an HDMI out on your laptop or we have a Mac Pro. Yeah, and if you need that hookup, I know a dude. I know a guy. So anyways, that was fun, dude. I was looking forward to that. If you don't have anything and you never want to do that, then just move on to the next video. My name's Doug Jenkins from iMixandMaster.com. If you do want mastering, that's still my main thing. I still do mastering for records, and we got a lot of cool new stuff that I need to do some videos on that are really, like, it really makes your music like stand out. So we'll talk to you later.